We make, pack, and ship plastic trays for a variety of customers in the food industry. You'll be working as a tray packer, which means you will inspect, count, and use a torch and air blower to remove excess plastic or dust from trays. Then you will pack the trays into boxes based on our customers' instructions and specifications. Then you will prepare the boxes for quality inspection. We ship our trays nationwide and we follow rigorous quality and safety standards, so you will check trays for defects and recycle defective product. We generally refer to the good manufacturing practices by their initials, GMPs. Because our trays will eventually be a part of a food product, and because our manufacturing lines have a number of moving parts and components that work at extremely high temperatures, cleanliness and safety are really important here. Safety starts with you, and our good manufacturing practices, or GMPs, will help to guide you in your work. Let's begin by seeing how you should dress for work and the kinds of things you should and shouldn't take onto the production floor. These are the codes of conduct and appearance as specified in your Good Manufacturing Practices checklist. You must always make sure you are compliant with these dress codes before entering the work area. Never bring personal cell phones onto the production floor. Only wear enclosed shoes, heels not to exceed 1 inch, on the production floor. Never wear sleeveless shirts, loose-fitting, raveled clothing, or overalls onto the production floor. Always tuck in your shirt and make sure your sleeves meet the minimum 4-inch length requirement. If your shirt has a logo or text of any kind printed on it, make sure it's appropriate. If you have pockets on your shirt or anywhere else above your waist, be sure to empty them. If you have anything attached to or hanging from your pockets, belt, or waistline, you must remove those also. If you have any facial hair besides a mustache, you have to cover it with a beard net or shave it off. With the exception of water or Gatorade in covered containers, you must never bring food, drinks, or candy onto the production floor. You must never wear jewelry of any kind on the production floor, including piercings. If you are wearing anything on your hands, such as fingernail polish or fake fingernails, please ask your lead to provide you with a pair of white cotton gloves to wear on the line. If you have a cut requiring a Band-Aid, ask your lead for a company-issued blue Band-Aid for adherence to food safety requirements. This is a no tobacco premises. You may not use tobacco of any kind while at work. Remember, these good manufacturing practices help ensure your personal safety and the quality required for the safety of our product. Now that you're familiar with how to prepare for work, let's talk about the procedures you must follow once you enter onto the production area and start working. When you arrive for your shift, use the marked employee entrance. To gain access to the facility, you must press the call button and wait to be admitted. When you first enter the work area, you will notice a yellow safety rail that runs the length of the plant. These rails are for your safety. You must never move past the yellow rails onto the production floor unless you are in complete compliance with the GMP safety rules. Next, always clock in before you go to work. Time clocks are located on the wall near the entrance. Temporary employees should clock in at the provided time clocks. Safety glasses, hairnet, beard net, and earplugs are mandatory. Never cross the barrier of the yellow rails without them. Your lead will provide you with safety glasses before you start work on your first day. At this point, you're almost ready to start working, but don't forget to wash your hands and arms thoroughly at the wash basin before you go to your workstation. You must also wash your hands and arms after returning from any breaks or from using the restroom. Anytime you have a communicable disease, such as cold or flu, or if you have a respiratory infection, you must notify the crew lead immediately. We never want to cough or sneeze on the product. Before you start packing trays, you must always wear an apron. The apron prevents any clothing debris from getting on the trays. Aprons should be worn anytime you are packing product. When leaving the packing area to go to the restroom or on break, the apron should be placed in the designated area on the 5S board. Aprons should be removed anytime you are working around moving machinery or parts. Later, we'll talk more about the 5S board, which is a clean board located near each line with a designated place to hang that line's equipment. If you spill anything on your apron, you should replace it with a clean one. Place used and dirty aprons in the designated bin. Now we're ready to get to work. For your safety, never go over or under the yellow rails. Instead, use the designated entryways onto the production floor. As you enter onto the production floor, remain aware of the fork trucks working throughout the facility. Notice the pathway along the floor marked by yellow lines? These are pedestrian and forklift shared aisles. Always stay in the marked aisle pathways. Use extreme caution before walking along these paths. In areas where the yellow walkway lines are not connected by slashes, forklifts are not allowed to cross. Always use caution. You may work on a single product line, a multiple product line, or a line with a tray counting system. Single production lines make one type of tray at a time. Multiple lines produce 2 or more types of trays at once. Let's look at a single product line since it will give us the basic information you need to begin work. Here's an overview of your job. Check for packing instructions. Look at the information carousel located near each line to get information about how you should pack trays for today's customer. Prepare the work area. Use pallet poles to place a pallet on the pallet lift. Build a shipping box to put the trays into. Line the box with a plastic bag, referring to the packing table procedures and job instructions on the carousel for requirements. Inspect, count, flame, blow, and pack trays. Inspect and count trays that come out of the trim press. Move trays to the packing table. Flame stacks of trays with a torch to melt plastic debris along the edges of the trays. Blow the stack of trays with compressed air to remove plastic or dust debris. When required by the customer, place the trays in a poly bag. Place the stack of trays in a shipping box. Put a lid on the shipping box. Call a fork truck to take the pallet to the staging area for a quality inspection. Let's take a closer look at each step. When you arrive at your workstation, place anything that is not related to the immediate packing job, such as a clear bag for personal belongings, packing knives, or gloves, into the packing basket at the end of the table. Next, check the carousel. There's one located on every line to find out the details for today's specific job. Those details might differ in terms of the number of trays, customer requirements, and bag requirements. Before you can start packing, you need to have a shipping box ready for the trays. These boxes sit on top of pallets, which in turn sit on pallet lifts located near the packing table. For your safety, never step on or over the pallet lift. Pallets themselves may weigh from 60 to 70 pounds, so never lift one by yourself. Use the pallet poles hanging from the 5S board to move the pallet to the pallet lift. Pallet poles save back strain and prevent you from dropping a pallet on your foot. They also prevent you from getting wood splinters in your hands. Make sure to return the poles to the 5S board after you use them. Keeping your workspace free of clutter and knowing where all your tools are is essential for everyone's safety. Now that the pallet is in place, you need an empty box. We have several types of boxes that we use based on customer specification. You may be required to use a knife to cut the packing bands on stacks of boxes. Use a company-issued plastic safety knife only. Remember, our good manufacturing practices don't allow you to use a pocket knife or other personal knife for cutting packing bands or plastic sheet. You'll also check boxes for defects, such as perforations coming apart or anything else out of the ordinary. When you find a defective box, set it aside so we can return it to the supplier. Making a box requires folding and taping. Before you put trays in the box, you will either line the box with a large bag or bag each individual sleeve of trays depending on customer requirements. Box numbers are essential for keeping up with production, and you must keep them in sequential order. When making boxes and lids, refer to the packing table job instruction located on the carousel for further instruction. You can see how too many pre-made boxes or lids take up space and can become a safety hazard. The drum forms the trays while the trim press cuts the trays out. There is a catwalk on the edge of every trim press where the trays come out. Never reach back behind the line of this catwalk. You could easily lose a hand or arm. Trays come out of the trim press in long rows. This is where you will count them out and check them for defects. The Quality Defect Communication Board, near the entrance to the production floor, lists the more common types of defects that we must never send to customers. A defective tray may have one or more of the following: holes and thin spots, attached or unattached slivers, heavy die lines and or grit, when there is too much of a gap between tray edges, we call the defect nested tray separation. Tray denesting means the trays are too close together when they come out of the trim press, or they are locked together because a packer uses too much force during handling or packaging. We make trays that are meant to fit inside of our customers' carriers, so it's important we check to make sure the edges or flanges are even and consistent around the entire container. Most of our trays are sealed with a plastic film, so we check for sealing surface defects to ensure the surface is unobstructed for proper sealing. If you find trays with any of these defects, do not pack them. Instead, show them to the operator and get proper authorization to grind or pack them. If the decision is to grind the defective trays, then you should slowly toss them into the chute located next to the packing table. Only product to be ground is to be recycled here. No cardboard or trash. The person counting moves a stack of trays to the packing table. The first person at the packing table will burn the excess debris off the trays with the flaming torch. You will flame the entire edge of the stack, bottom to top, and rotate the stack completely. Obviously, the flaming torch is hot, so when you use it, be extremely cautious not to burn yourself or someone else. Also, never use a cigarette lighter to light the torch. An igniter is provided on the torch base. If the torch does not light by using the igniter, bring it to the attention of the operator. Note that fire extinguishers are located throughout the plant. If you use a fire extinguisher, make sure your supervisor knows so we can recharge it. You will use the air hose to blow off any debris that the torch may have missed. You will then place the finished tray stack in a poly bag. Finally, you will place the trays in the required packaging container on the pallet lift. When a pallet is full, a packer will call for a forklift on a nearby intercom. You should never stand directly behind the pallet lift when the driver is lifting or lowering a pallet. Instead, always stand at least 3 feet to one side. Also, never step on or over the pallet lift. When you cut sheet or work around anything hot, you will be provided with protective gloves and sleeves. The sleeves are for burn prevention. You must pull them all the way up to the sleeve of your shirt. Allow your shirt sleeve to hang over the top of the sleeve and do not leave any skin exposed. As you can see, we go to great lengths to make safety a top priority. You can help us by reporting any injury, no matter how small, to your lead or EHS manager. You will notice evacuation routes posted throughout the plant. In the event of an evacuation, all employees must exit the building and proceed directly to the rally point, located at the south end of the parking lot. Should the power go out, stay on your line until your lead or someone with a flashlight comes to assist you. In the event of severe weather, the plant restrooms, as well as the enclosed room located at the southeast corner of the production floor, will serve as storm shelters until the crew leader gives the all clear.